You know, we're at a time of unprecedented change. Change is happening in every area of this culture, and it's happening faster than it's ever happened, more dramatically than it's ever happened. And you want to know something? That level of change is going to go up. It's going to keep happening faster. It's keep happening, more dramatically. Technology, first of all, is changing everything. It's changing the way people communicate. It's changing the way people learn. It's changing how people read. It's changing how you get information. It's changing how people buy products. It's changing, how people get entertained. And the top 10 jobs in America did not exist 4 years ago. That's dramatic change. And you think about how people get information. 4 years ago, the monthly number of hits that Google got was 2 billion. 2 billion hits a month. A lot, huh? Last month, it was 35 billion. Changing the way people communicate. Kids today, they don't talk anymore, right? What do? They text, they Twitter, they tweet, they toot, bing, zinga, boonga, banga, binga. Any kind of word you can say, there's probably some website for it, right? But it's not only kids. And what's interesting about that? Only 11% of young people email. They don't email. They average 100 texts a day, text messages a day. And, that'll probably be gone. Text will probably be over, probably by the time I'm finished talking today, there'll be no more text. So that's continually changing. But, it's not only kids that are communicating this way. I speak to some of the biggest corporations, organizations in the world, and they're all using social media, mobile technology, to communicate with their customers, to get new customers, to share new ideas, to do everything like that. How about this? You've all heard of the Aflac duck, right? Aflac, right? The Aflac duck has 200,000 friends on Facebook. The duck. What do they share, quacks or what? I mean, I don't know. And Cheer, what you use in your washing machine, 800,000 friends. My God, it's incredible what's going on. The first thing to understand about change, which we talked about, right? Which you talked about, Tanya, is change does two things. It creates a lot of new challenges. It's not easy. Change isn't easy to deal with, but it creates a lot of challenges. But what it also does is it creates a lot of exciting new opportunities and possibilities. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you take advantage of the new opportunities and the opportunity and possibilities that change brings about? And one of the things that's real clear is if you want to take advantage of the changes, if you want to keep ahead of the changes rather than struggling to keep up with them, you can't keep playing by yesterday's rules. You can't use yesterday's thinking in today's world and think you're going to be anywhere tomorrow. The biggest problem with risk, and what somebody called it out, is fear. That's the thing that causes us to play not to lose, is fear. And you know what fear does? Fear blows everything out of proportion. It makes everything seem harder. Everything seems like it's going to take longer. Everything seems like it's going to be too much work. It's going to take too long to do. We call it, and I've written 7 books. Every book on all different subjects has a chapter on fear. And, I want to tell you, I'll give you an example about what I call the doomsday approach, how immediately we get an idea and we jump to the worst case, right? I was working with a big insurance company last year, one of the big health insurance companies, and I said to the senior vice president, I said, what do you think about Obamacare? And the guy looks at me like I've lost my mind. He said, are you kidding me? That Obama health care for everybody? I mean, what do you think that's going to do to the insurance business? You know, I mean, it's going to put the insurance business immediately. He's out of business. But the insurance business is out of business. What are they going to need us for? And if they don't need us, what's going to happen to me? I mean, you know, I got this job. I mean, where am I going to get another job at this level? I mean, it's impossible. No jobs at this level around. And, you know, I got a mortgage to pay. I got kids in school. I got my car. And all of a sudden, he had himself sitting on the curb. Egg. So he jumped from Obamacare to Ripple time in about 3 seconds. And that's how fear works. It makes everything seem, and I said to him, here's one of the key things. And you'll see if you read it in my book. I said, do a reality check. I said, do you really think you're going to be out of business and going out there, you guys? And he went like this. Well, you know, probably not. And all of a sudden you could see him relax a little. He said, yeah, it's going to be tougher. We'll have to do new things and do it. And all of a sudden, he had himself developing strategies. So I did a reality check with him. So that's one of the things that you can do with fear. Fear always makes something worse. So you should always ask yourself, what's the possibility of this thing that I'm worried about happening on a scale of 1 to 10? See, fear works in the emotional center of your brain, which is not rational. So when you have a fear, it's usually not right. It's blown out of proportion. So you want to get super rational. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the chances of that happening? And you usually find out it's much less than you think. So one of the keys is always check your fear out. You know, that's what's stopping you. That's what's causing you to play not to lose. That's what's preventing you from being innovative and preventing you from changing. The most important thing for a leader and for everybody is passion. You got to have fire. You got to have passion. You got to be excited. When you come with a new idea, you got to be stoked. You got to be pumped, because that's what influences people. You know, they used to talk about selling, giving speeches, the same thing. They said the most important characteristic when they rated people in all areas was enthusiasm, which is, the Greek word was infused with energy. You know, you talked about energy and excitement. You know, that's what you got. You had a lot of good ideas you're getting in this meeting. You got to pick one that's really working and, you know, go with it, man. Be enthusiastic. Be pumped up about it. But I want to tell you, the last thing I want to talk about is, you know, fire. And firing people up is the most important thing. But you know, the most common response to change and innovation and new ideas and new opportunities is not fire, it's the fire hose. You know what the fire hose is? It's the voice of experience that's always telling you why your ideas won't work, can't be done, not in the budget, it's going to cost too much, the business ain't there, the industry's flat. Did you ever go to a meeting like that? You know, it's almost like, I like to use the metaphor of surfing. You know, some of you live near where people do a lot of surfing. But the rules for surfing and catch the wave are very similar to, you know, what we're talking about here. You know, when you're out in the water, you know, you're looking for a wave, you know, you don't try to catch the wave that's here. You're already too late with that. You're always looking outside. You look outside to a wave that's maybe 10 or 15 feet out there, and you're looking out to that wave, and as you see the wave coming towards you, while it's still about 10 yards in, you start paddling, you start moving before the wave, and you start moving, and if you catch it just right, boy, the power of the wave catapults you forward. That's what being change ready is, moving before the wave, not waiting for the wave to come. Because you wait, it's going too fast, you don't catch up. You know, you can't catch up to it. So you have to move before the wave. Your best ideas may not come from you. They could come from the guy that's driving the truck, the guy that's, you know, who knows where they come from. In our book, we talk about one of the roles of a leader is to listen down. Listen to your people. One is you get better ideas. You get people more motivated when you're listening to them. So lots of things. And one of the things you notice when you look outside is that the old categories are collapsing. They're being redefined or just not defined. You know, look at Amazon used to be in the what business? Selling books. What do they sell now? I don't know, everything. I got something today, get a massage from Amazon. They sell diapers, they sell clutch plates. I mean, you know, books, and you know, it's the old. See, what they're all trying to do is they're trying to find out, hey, my customer's got so much in his wallet, I want to get a bigger share, Jack. So they're opening up. One of the biggest trends is single source supplier. You know, your customers, they'd like to have one source that they can trust, you know, that's going to care about them, going to understand them. So, you know, that's what these guys are doing. You got bookstores today. They ain't just bookstores. What are they doing? They got talks by travel people. They got all kinds of, they're selling food, they're selling tapes, they're selling music, and, you know, I mean, everything's going on. You get supermarkets used to sell food. What do they sell now? Everything. You got drugstores, they got banks in them, you got banks selling drugs, you know, man. I mean, and it's all happening. So, you know, you got to rethink. You got to think, who are your customers? What else are they buying? What can I do to combine things that have never been combined before, to get a bigger share of what they're spending their money? You know, rethink the rules. The old definitions ain't working for you. How would you describe your business? A distributor, you know, I mean, whatever you want to do. Hey, man, break the walls down. Open it up. Understand your customer, and give them something. One of my rules is don't satisfy a customer, surprise them. Don't do the expected, do the unexpected.